Hello everyone, this is the History Spectrum channel. In this video, we will discuss Attila the Hun, who threatened the Roman Empire around the 5th century. You will find some surprising stories about him, so please watch to the end. The legend of Attila and the origin of the title Whip of God. Attila was the powerful king of the Huns, and his legend is still told today. It is said that he was rigorously trained as a warrior from an early age, and rose to prominence among the Huns. Already at an early age, he displayed a bravery and tactical talent that amazed those around him. The legend of Attila began with his upbringing, and was shaped by his strength and leadership. The title Whip of God symbolizes Attila's powerful influence. The title comes from the fact that he was feared and respected. As an expression of God's will, his military actions were seen by many as the embodiment of God's will, and felt like divine punishment to hostile nations. Attila, as the Whip of God, is considered one of the most influential leaders of his time. Ancient literature portrays Attila as a powerful warrior. These references emphasize his military successes and Hun bravery, which are key elements in shaping his legend. For example, Roman historians recorded Attila's conquering actions in great detail. The portrayal of Attila constitutes an important part of his legend throughout ancient literature. The Huns and their historical background. The Huns were known as nomads and had a unique culture. They are believed to have originally come from Central Asia, where they lived by migrating from place to place. The Huns traveled on horseback, and were known for their quick raids and assaults. Their lifestyle and tactics were closely related to horses. The culture of the Huns was greatly influenced by their nomadic lifestyle. The Huns made their way to Europe in the 5th century. They pushed aside other peoples to go to Europe because their sphere of life was changing. Due to competition from other peoples, the Huns overwhelmed the Goths and other Germanic tribes, with their powerful military force, driving them into Europe. The advance of the Huns into Europe was an event that changed the political map of Europe in that era. By Attila's time, the Huns had established a unified society, backed by a powerful military force. Attila, with his outstanding leadership and political skills, united the diverse ethnic groups and established a centralized power structure. Attila is said to have brought tribal chiefs under his control, and ruled vast territories through them. The Huns under Attila became one of the greatest powers of the period, thanks to their strong, centralized power structure and military might. Attila's tactics of conquest and war. Attila conducted expeditions over a wide area of Europe. His military expeditions were successful due to the strong military power of the Huns, and Attila's strategic mind. In particular, his expedition to northern Italy epitomizes his military success. Attila's military expedition was an important turning point in European history. The Huns were known for their unique tactics and strategies. They had a fighting style that took advantage of their mobility and speed, which allowed them to surprise their enemies. For example, their quick charge with horses and tactics of surrounding and attacking the enemy are said to be characteristic of the Huns' fighting style. The tactics of the Huns were so innovative that they changed the way warfare was conducted at the time. Attila was an outstanding military leader. His leadership and strategic thinking enabled the Huns to make the most of their military power. Attila is said to have unified the diverse tribes, and directed the war on the merits of each. Attila's leadership was a key element of his military success. Attila's relationship with the Roman Empire. Attila was a major influence and threat to the Roman Empire. His military expeditions and attacks threatened the stability of the Roman Empire and caused tremendous damage. For example, Attila's expedition to Italy invaded Roman territory and caused great suffering to the Roman Empire. Attila's presence was an unavoidable threat to the Roman Empire, and had a profound impact on its history. Diplomatic relations between Attila and the Roman emperors were complicated. It is said by some that the Roman emperors used diplomatic means to avoid confrontation with Attila, sometimes even forming alliances. Perhaps, though, Attila at one time allied himself with the Eastern Roman Empire to put pressure on the Western Roman Empire. Attila's relationship with the Roman emperors reflected the political climate of the time, vacillating between war and diplomacy. Attila's death and the subsequent Huns. Attila's death is still shrouded in much mystery and has had a profound impact. There are many theories about his death, and nothing is known for certain, but after his death, the power of the Huns declined rapidly. Attila's death was an important turning point in the history of the Huns, and the cause of his death is still controversial today. After Attila's death, the Huns fell into political turmoil. Attila's death caused the loss of the strong leadership. He had established and intensified conflicts within the Huns. After Attila's death, his sons and other tribal chiefs fought for power, and the Huns were divided. Attila's death had a profound impact on the political structure of the Huns, and triggered subsequent political changes. After Attila's death, the Hun Empire quickly collapsed. Political turmoil and tribal rivalries meant that the Huns could no longer maintain the unified power they had previously enjoyed. With the decline of the Huns' power, the other tribes that had ruled over them, and the Roman Empire began to consolidate their positions and chart a new course of power. Attila's death and the collapse of the Hun Empire marked an important period change in European history, and had a profound impact on later history. Attila's legacy and influence in modern times. Attila is regarded throughout history as a symbol of fear and respect. His daring conquests and harsh rule gave rise to many legends and stories. For example, he was known as the Whip of God, a name still used as a synonym for a powerful leader. Attila's historical influence has remained with the people. For centuries after his death, the history of Attila and the Huns has had a long-term impact on European history. Their activities had a profound impact on the subsequent political boundaries and cultural development of Europe. The advance of the Huns weakened the Roman Empire and facilitated the subsequent migration and state formation of Germanic peoples. The legacy of Attila and the Huns changed the course of European history and continues to influence it to this day. Attila's surprising end. Attila had many wives during his life, but an anecdote related to his final days is particularly interesting. According to legend, Attila died on the night of his wedding to his last wife, after enjoying a sumptuous banquet and copious amounts of alcohol at the wedding feast. Attila is said to have returned to his bedroom in a drunken stupor. The next morning, however, he was found dead with a bloody nose. Due to limited medical knowledge at the time, the cause of his death is unclear, but one theory is that he was so drunk that he suffocated to death from his own nosebleed. How was it? In this article, I explained about Attila. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like this video. History Spectrum.